Hi everyone, we have a short question here which wants us to find the maximum height of a stone when it is thrown vertically upwards. Now let's try to answer to the first part by finding the velocity after 3 seconds. The velocity equation can be found by simply differentiating h with respect to t. You can see it as the rate of change of h, which is the distance traveled either vertically upwards or downwards. Now doing so will give us 24 minus 6t. By substituting 3, the velocity after 3 seconds is therefore 6 meters per second. Now let's move on to the part where we are interested in, the maximum height reached. Now when the stone is thrown vertically upwards, the maximum height reached occurs when at the split instant when the velocity is 0. So at maximum height, dh over dt is equals to 0. Another way to look at it is this. If we were to sketch the equation of h, the maximum height reached is at this point here, where the gradient or dh over dt is 0. And dh over dt refers to the velocity, and that's why we equate this to 0. So solving for the value of t, we will then have t equals to 4. Substitute this into the equation of h to answer to the question, and this gives us a value of 48. Thus, the maximum height reached by the stone is 48 meters. Now before we move on to the next part, do remember to subscribe to this channel to see more valuable contents such as this. Now in part 3, many students find this a challenge. Using only the equation of h or v, how could we find how long is the flight time? Now let's take a step back. When the stone travels upwards, it must also land onto the ground due to gravity. So at the end state, h will be equals to 0. We can then find the value of t, which gives us the flight time. So doing so, when h is equals to 0, 24t minus 3t squared is equals to 0. Factorizing, we will have t, 24 minus 3t is equals to 0, and t is equals to 0 or 8. Now t must be more than 0 because this value here denotes the start of the flight, whereas 8 seconds denotes the time when the stone touches the ground at the end of the flight. Thus, the time of the flight is simply 8 seconds. Now if you have any questions, do leave them in the comments box below, and thank you so much for watching this video.